This is the 211 Media.
I want to say good evening, greetings, and wherever you're watching in from, this is the 211 Media, and of course, it is me, your host, Nick Sam. And as you know, we bring to you different stories into the line of entertainment, culture, and also development. So I want to shout out to all of you wherever you're watching in from. And as you know, I want to also give a big shout out to that is the Nile culture. If you're looking out for, you're having a dream of being a model, or you have some ideas of how to become a model, Now Culture, we say you're welcome. We are located along that is Gather Road, Now Culture, courtesy of Jubalicious. Yes, it is me, of course, your host, Nick Sam, and today we are having a privilege. This is a big privilege. We are joined with one of the man who just don't sing, but also in that singing, it makes sure it gives us some magic, kind of a cocktail mixed up with the creativity, and is having, by the way, the number one trending song currently. I think it's one of the songs that have blended culture with urban. It's a culture song, but the way people are playing it in the urban. Anyway, join me as welcome Check B the Magic.
Yeah, man.
Happy New Year.
Same to you, bro.
I like the attire. It is full black. It reminds me of the colors we're putting on that was on Valentine.
Yes, yes.
But you know, Valentine is all about black and red.
Definitely. And I'm black, so I'm proud.
But are you a loving person?
Definitely, man.
Anyway, we are going to be having a lot of discussions. But welcome.
Thank you, bro.
Hope you're doing good.
I'm okay. It's been a while. It's good to see you, by
It's
the way.
been a while. It's been a while. I think the last time we were together, that is 1 year ago.
Yeah,
In fact, it was the new year of 2025.
Yeah, 2025.
We ended the year with you.
Yeah.
However much it was a good one, a great
Definitely,
one.
it was a massive one. You know, when great minds meet, we do great things.
That's why this year I had to look for you as the year started. I remembered, hey, the magic man. We need some magic in 2026.
Definitely.
Anyway, welcome.
Thank you, bro.
I was telling you about that song, the culture song. Why nowadays you're so much into culture? Since the other song you released, that is Otoho, I don't know how it came into your mind, but now you're reflecting. We're somehow missing the Soko artist,
right.
Afrobeat. Are you putting hold on that music of the Gen Zs, focusing on our young man?
Not really like that. Not like that. What I'm doing is, you know, I realize also, like with culture, for example, for our music, if you want your music to export out there, you gotta be authentic. You gotta have some originality and also, you know, stand out. And I can tell you, when you listen to music from Congo, from Angola, from Mali, you know, you listen to different African sounds, and then you realize, okay, there is an identity behind the sounds. So if we can fuse our own sounds, you know, with our own mother tongue, and then with a nice instrument, you know, nice production and good percussions and also, you know, good sound, you can be able to go out there. Just for example, let's say Kenzo. You see, when Kenzo won the BET, isn't it? Many people say they didn't fancy him to win, isn't it? But because in his music, he has that Baganda, you know, style, vibe, and, you know, blends it and fuses it, and, you know, something like even Diamond, for example. So basically, I'm not just like, I'm now into culture itself, but I feel like, okay, this is the backbone of what we want to create, you know, for the generation and the years to come.
But now when you talk about sound, a lot of artists, everyone is saying is creating the sound of blending culture and the urban beats. But now we're having a lot of you guys. Don't you think it is another kind of confusion? Why don't you guys come with one particular kind of a beat that you say, this one?
Yeah. Well, it depends, because, for example, there are some cultural, you know, beats that are different from the other one. So it's a little bit hard to match these beats together. But let me tell you, we're living in a society where the diversity has to be, you know, embraced. And then in that aspect, we can, for example, we're vibing to that song, Mundari. Remember during the Mundari festival. I don't even know what it means, but everybody loves it. Especially like Kiyara even itself, the song that I released. Some people don't know the meaning, but they love the sound, isn't it? So basically, if we can create this kind of sounds, even actually, if you play the song now to someone from somewhere, they will be very, you know, they'll be very keen and very excited to hear it.
But one thing I have realized with your traditional songs is that, however much they are tradition, they are not that much on that BPM,
Yes,
high BPM.
yes, yes.
It is a normal BPM.
Yes.
I was just surprised, like Otuho is just 90
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
BPM.
yeah.
Then this one is 100.
Yeah.
How
700.
do you do it? Because most culture songs that I see, they're in 130, 140.
Yeah.
For you, how do you do
For
it?
me, I call myself like I'm the modern artist from the community that I come from. I'm modernizing like the way our culture is itself, but also the music itself. And you can see that these beats, we have different beats. Like we have Achala beats, we have Ekukuro beats, we have Ichera beats, like so many beats. Like we have different types. So I'm focusing on the Achala beats because these beats can suit everyone. That is a beat where everyone can fit in, both young and adult.
But now, when you talk of so much of culture like this, where are you living? The first fans of yours, of course, the Afro dancehall kind of fans,
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
soko.
I know.
Huh? Where are you living?
No, I'm not living them. I'm not living them technically.
The Samuro.
Yeah, of course. You know that. I was just like, now we're working on another album. So this album is going to be,
Oh, you're working on an album?
Yeah. So now this album is going to have those sounds. You know me, I'm always the artist who does different kind of music. As you can see, I've released one, but very soon this year, I will also start releasing my album, which is going to have some good urban sounds and Afrobeats. You know, I'm an Afrobeat artist, and I bring the best. So just be brave, be embraced, be waiting, and be patient. I will release an album this year, and I don't want to shut the other artists because I also want to give them a chance.
Now, speaking of that, you've come at the point where I wanted you. You've talked of an album, which is a great idea. First of all, people have been wondering, where have you been? You know, you're one artist who's on, and somehow you get off the track. You're in the last years, that is 2 to 3 years, you are a bit consistent. But I don't know what really happened. You became on and off, not so much consistent.
Yeah, so many things happen. You know, in life, as we grow, things change also. Like for example, I had to go back to campus, to university, to finish my studies. That was also one factor. And then I became.
By the way, when did you graduate?
2024.
No, I'm saying, what did you graduate particularly?
Oh, man, I did ICT. So
ICT.
I'm a consultant, IT consultant.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Because it's very important.
Yeah.
You know, some artists sang, you need to beat your enemies really academically. So we need to know. Because as we are speaking, there is already some artist who's trying to go in the fight with other artists, saying for them they started MDD. And believing that MDD is useless. So it is very important to know what you studied.
Yeah, I did ICT, so I majored in network and data administration. So as years went by, I also became a family man, children and stuff. So it became a little bit hard for me to balance that, and music, it needs your time and all that if you want to be consistent, So I realized, okay, maybe I'm gonna try to see how I can evolve myself into a corporate kind of artist who makes music, and then I have my job, and stuff like that. So if there is a function, I'll be able to come for the function as well. But also with another aspect that I have to take my time, create something new and then bring it back to the people. You get that? So that was why at least I went back. And field work sometimes as a consultant, we are sent to the fields and all that. So it's hard again to be in the system. And if you're not be in the system, you gotta be in the capital as well. So that's how it is. But as I said always, the magic comes always with something and always a surprise people.
So this time around, you're now ready.
Yeah, definitely. Because as I told you, we just want to launch the Yawa concert coming up next month at Bros in Ramadan. And then after that, we'll release the next song, you understand? Give it some time and then release another banger, And this time around, it's going to be the Afrobeat kind of banger.
Oh, Afrobeat. Mixed with culture.
No, generally, like, not culture. I'm just, maybe my language, but of course, Afrobeat, you know. But with the
so, now, where are you going to put these songs? These other songs of the Otoho, the Ayaha?
I am doing a separate, actually, the idea was, I was doing a separate album for the culture. It was an idea that we had to do to promote the culture. So as you can see now, I have about 5 songs on the cultural album. I have about 5 songs.
As we are talking about the album, you said you're going to make 2 different albums.
I'm actually doing it, not going to make, but I'm already doing it.
Already doing it.
Yeah.
So how many songs so far should we expect about? But okay, before we go to the songs, this has come in my mind. People talk of albums as not a good way to go currently. That album was old kind of a thing, old school kind of thing, that albums don't work. Do you believe in albums?
Yeah, like
Personally,
me. Yeah, I believe in that because, for example,
into this era,
yes,
2026,
I believe
with the
so.
new,
I
the
believe
new
so. You
year.
know why? I believe so because now, like for example, the target this year is to make money digitally. You get and make money online. You get what I'm saying? So when you release an album or an EP, there are so many listeners out there that are going to expect to listen to the EP. You understand? And you'll be able to generate something from the EP instead of putting one song after the other. You get what I'm saying? So in that aspect, it's not like this old school where you're going to launch your album and all that. You're just going to make the album, and you, like for example, those Wizkids and all these artists make albums, and then they throw it onto the digital platforms, and then every song has its own vibe, and someone picks and likes it, and everything starts streams up and all that. So that's the plan.
So you expect this album to be good sold out in terms of
Yeah.
that money you'll be receiving
Yeah,
it in
yeah. You
terms
know why?
of,
Because
is it online? Is
Yeah.
it because there is also this personal buying of albums
yeah.
that you have made your catalog, maybe on the flash, maybe CDs. I could say CDs, but we don't have them currently. How do you get this money?
So now you see, like for example, you cannot do the CDs. The CDs is the analog
Yes.
old school style, and also there is a lot of piracy in the industry. For example, do you know that the people that send songs to people on computers on the street make more money from the songs of the artist than the artist?
But that is not ours.
That's what I'm saying. Just for example, because he will get the song and then he sends to someone with money, isn't it?
No, that works. I have no
So
problem.
so now what I'm saying, why we're doing that is we are going to some, like for example, okay, some artists you can get their songs on YouTube but you cannot download, isn't it? That is also one. In another one, you cannot get the song anywhere unless in Apple Music or Spotify or Audiomack, and you cannot download. That is the first thing you get. Yeah, that's the first thing you have to do if you're protecting your work and you want to earn something from it. Because the moment you let it go for free download, nobody is going to come back again to stream or play it again. You get what I'm saying? But if it is not able to be downloaded, people will be forced to
download.
to stream live.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you are not going to make it downloaded.
Never.
It's going to be only on streaming.
Yes.
With our law of people, a few people on social media, a few people on internet. Do you think
know what I'm saying?
that is a good move to go?
Yeah, I'm targeting the people from abroad.
Hey.
Yeah, okay. The people who know okay, from the world, all over the world. From
So
Ghana,
this is Check D going
Nigeria.
global.
That's what I'm saying.
Check D going global.
I don't want to say I'm a global boy and stuff like that. I don't do things which are global. So, as you can see, that's my idea, the strategy now, to try to protect my craft and then earn something from it.
So
it's not like it's going to disappear totally. For example, the radios can have the song stream from like for example, many radios also stream online, isn't it? Yeah, so it's the same. We also need the radio to give us some support and some cash.
Definitely, yeah.
I heard in Kenya, when your song plays so many times on the radio, you have some royalties.
Yeah, sure.
So we don't have all this here. So that's what we want to do, and out there you can be given royalties for your work. So
of course, as you talked of your loyalties, here our law has not yet come. That is goes under all corporate law.
Yeah.
We're still behind from that.
Yeah.
But now, the way you will monetize your music into some other country, how will you be getting this money? Because as you know, that is falling under corporate law, as I say.
Yeah.
But now we don't have it in the country.
Yeah.
How will this one work for you?
It will work because, first of all, like once you link your card to all these platforms that are you have your music on, all the streams will be channeled, all the royalties will be channeled to your account or to your card. If you have a Visa card or a MasterCard, okay? Because you're using the same Visa card or MasterCard to make ads, like for example, YouTube, you can say YouTube ads, they're paid for. So once you have that, some companies can even pay you money to put their their advert as an ad on your your channel, on your whatever. That's what I'm saying. So there's a lot of money online that maybe here in South Sudan our artists are not yet conversant with that, but for us who are technologically fit, we know that there is a lot to be made.
I'm looking at you now. You want to be that kind of artist who may not have noise locally, like on the ground, because there are artists that are not having noise on the ground, but now up there they are making numbers.
Yes.
Is this a way of trying to rebrand yourself into a different Check B that we have been seeing? Are you trying to change the strategy? Eh? You don't want to walk in Gudele. We say Check B has a new song. My Gudele boys, oh my Tongping boys, my Sherikan boys. You want only the noise to be up there.
Yeah.
Are you trying to change?
Yeah, definitely, bro.
The branding, your
yeah,
branding from the previous.
I've changed. I've really, I've really transitioned. It's like transition. I'm transitioning from the other side of the system artist to a corporate artist. The system artist is that all the time you have to, be consistent, get into the clubs, all these, you understand, get booked and all that, you understand. But we can tell you in Juba or in South Sudan, one artist can get a booking maybe once in a month. You get that? So how are you going to survive if you're relying on bookings and the promoters don't come calling? You get those? So these are some of that. So can I see so many artists are struggling? Some of them ended up frustrations, getting into hard drugs because the expectations, they cannot meet the expectations, you understand? They feel like, okay, I'm good, I'm talented, I'm supposed to go that far. But definitely, once you don't make it, you start getting to the frustrations, But equally, it is you yourself that is responsible for that. That's what I'm saying. So that's why, I had to go back to school, try to study, you understand? Get a decent job, make some money, you understand? Of course, the music they never run. The talent is always there. You get the things. So, and also, like, as the year passes by, I get a lot of people who come to me with a lot of opportunities and advice and all that things. So, like, for example, people from Australia who will love my music, just telling me why am I making the music free? The music here is like hot, all that thing. So, and it's South Sudan. There's a lot of challenge. To be frank with you, the artists, the creative community generally, is really struggling.
Is that the reason why you're making two different albums?
Yes.
The tradition one, will you do it the same way, or you just want to do the other one of Afrobeats, kind of urban music, the one which will be mostly streaming online?
Yes.
Is the one you are going to put online, or
Both
even
of
this?
them. Both of them.
Even the tradition.
Yeah, and even the tradition one is the one that will bring more money.
JB, think of my old granny in the village.
Yes.
Think of her. How will she stream your music?
No, listen. The thing is, she will listen it from the radio.
She'll listen it from the radio.
Yeah, she'll listen it from the radio. Good thing the radio reaches everywhere.
So what if she wants it in her phone?
Then we'll tell her who was sorry. You let her request from the radio.
Is it not another way of trying to run from because now these are the real concrete funds.
Yes.
These are the foundation of your funds.
Yes.
Are you not trying to run away from them?
No, okay. I'm not running out from them because, for example, right now everybody. Okay, the thing is, there's a challenge in the remote areas. You understand, for people to have access to internet and maybe stream. But even themselves, you understand, they hardly have access to radios as well. You understand. So yeah, definitely that is a consideration we put in place as well. But to be frank, for us to go, for example, for me to reach the goal and my dream and objective that I want to achieve, I have to start not transitioning and at least focus and do everything possible to make sure that I get to where I want to be. And it's not like I'm trying to run away from these people or leave them, but as I told you, music will always find you understand? So they will get the music, but of course, it will not be as usual.
All right, but now check B. Some people want to know a story that is behind the name Check B, and of course, you are one of the artists that brought the tale in the industry. However much it was not your original. You're not the original composer of that word, which says disability is not inability. You are one person who have showed to most of the people that however much you may have other issues, you can still go and perform. You can still be creative. You can still be creative and do different things. But now, in your line, some people wanted to know what really happened or what really came for you to be in this status.
Well, I think sometimes like I said, life is more precious. Once you are alive, it's more important. My story is what happened to me happened when I was still crawling back in the village. Our village is called Oheri, where I was born. So in our village, with the poverty and all that, my mother was struggling to try to, all the time trying to make local kwete that she can sell and, buy some oil and all things. It was hard those days. And then it have in our every house in our village, the stove where they cook, people cook, is always dark, deep, sometimes inside. You get? Yeah. So because I was young, and this is a narration that is narrated to me by my grandmother, about what happened. And I think my auntie, I was left under the care of my auntie. And my auntie had a small, I think, misunderstanding with one of my uncles, and they were chasing themselves. And then I was, trying to, I don't know how it is, but that's how it happened. That's what they say. I fell into that into the stove when I was young, and that's how I got burnt. But someone, like one of my uncles, someone came and pulled me away. So imagine they said I'd almost.
Oh, burn your head.
Yeah, like.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's the story. So it's sometimes it feels like maybe that's God's plan. Sometimes God makes things happen for reasons. And the fact that after all this I'm strong enough, that's already the sign that God is, God has a purpose of what has happened and what we can make out of it.
How was it? How was it a challenge in your growing up?
Yeah, it was. Like, for example, in my school, if children would want to come next to me, want to see my fingers, they want to see how I write, and things like that. Sometimes, in very early stages, I used to move with my hands in the pocket. But after some time, I said, when I grew up, I think when I reached P3 or something, then I was a little bit very solid, I get the support from my mother, and I started, embracing it. Then, and the good thing about it is I was very bright. So that was another factor. Okay. So I was able to beat the stigmatization and, all that. We're living in a society that is so discriminative sometimes. And that's why I came up with my foundation, Check B Foundation, Never Disabled. Because basically I wanted to be the voice of, and, that's championing for inclusion of people with disabilities in South Sudan, but also in the world, and in Africa and the world. And I want to use music and creative arts as a tool as well, as you can see, to try to join, the call for inclusion, and make sure that we see people with environments, having families, enjoying life, and living a normal life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
by the way, you made it because, as you just said, you're already a graduate. So I see you've almost achieved what was the goal.
Yeah, not yet. No, somehow there. I can say I thank God for the achievements, but of course, like the goal is to go far, to go far and try to see a society where people can see that someone with an impairment can be great. Okay, that is exactly what I'm pushing for.
Now, where do you come with the name Check B?
It was
what is the story behind the Check B name?
When I was young, we went to Kampala in 1998. By that time, the Karuma Bridge was very tiny, very small. For 2 vehicles cannot pass there. 2 buses cannot pass.
So you had to wait.
One bus has to wait, and then and there was a checkpoint there for the UPDF. You'd go down, tell everyone to come down, and or that they would leave only children inside.
That is 19?
That was 98.
Hi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So all of a sudden, they tell everyone to come down, and the kids, and then one soldier tells me, "You go down. I should go and check you." I said, "Yeah, but I told you, the children are supposed to be inside, not outside." Like, for you go down, you only muyai. So when I went down and stuff, a little bit of fracas. The name was checked by police. You get? Like my uncles were, like I was this funny guy when I'm in a crowd. I can make something, and all that. So I was given that name because I was specifically picked by the police and I was checked, and yet all children were not checked.
So in the whole bus, they used to check only you?
Yeah, they only told me to check, not the rest. I don't know why.
That used to happen every time you cross to Uganda?
Yeah. They check people. Like that time, during that time, Karuma, you know, the bridge
No,
was
but
very
what
small.
I'm saying in the period of you traveling with maybe the relatives, you are the only person into that route who used only to be picked out as the young boy.
No, in that moment,
In that
in
moment,
that
yes.
moment, yes, because in that moment, the children are not checked. They're not to be checked.
But you were.
Yeah, I was checked.
So you decided to
then
be
the guy said,
checked.
checked by police. They gave me that nickname, checked by police. So I removed the Y and I leave it to be checked B. Then the magic is about my story, like who I am, where I came from, how I evolved.
So it is not all about juju like some people used to wait.
You know, it's not about juju. People say it's juju, but the word magic itself is, you know, the things that I've done. You know, sometimes some people never think. Like I always prove people wrong. Even in my childhood and every moment. Like when I step on something, people will doubt me. But when I step into that, they will realize, wow, this guy is good. You know, so I felt like, you know, I had that magic of making things happen. You know, yeah.
Tell us of how you hit the studio. How was the story?
When I first hit the studio, yeah, you know, I was in Kampala. Then one of my friends brought his song to me to listen. And when I listened to the song,
Anyway, before you hit the studio, were you having any ideas of doing music? Or in the family, is there any element? Because we've seen people who say, my mother was part of the choir, that's what I blah blah. I grew up in the choir. You as Check B, were you having some elements?
yeah, because, you know, like the same thing is my mother, she's a choir. So we used to all the time go to the choir, and I used to sing the tenor voice.
Hey, the
Yeah.
tenor.
Yeah.
Ah.
So from there, you know, we started getting the devotion and the, you know, and the that closeness with music.
So you're also a church boy.
Yeah, I was.
I like it, you.
Yeah, I was.
Right, what happened? Okay.
No, I'm not criticizing church, but as time went by, you know, we realized that what's important is just I believe in God and I know God exists. I can pray from my shells from anywhere, you know. Sometimes I don't have to be in the church to show people to show that I'm praying to God. So,
You want to do it at home,
everywhere,
privately.
everywhere works.
Okay. So you were in the church. The mom
Yeah,
was
my
in
mother,
the
she's
choir.
a choir, and so from there we evolved. Then and also when I went to Uganda, in high school, when I was studying in Maryland and Entebbe, that is an Adventist school, you know, the Seventh-day Adventist school. So in that moment, everyone was given a hymn book and a Bible. Every student that is admitted to the school will be given a hymn book, which is for songs, like gospel songs, praise songs, worship songs, and then also then they tell you the Bible as well, so that every Saturday all the students have to go to the
That is Sunday school.
to the, you know, like the service, okay, like Sabbath, you know, they call it Sabbath, the 7 days. So I experienced most of the religions, you know, from childhood. And then also, yeah, I also experienced the Sabbath, the Adventists, how they do their things, you know, like
Why was it like that?
I'm someone who's curious about discovering some things, you know, and maybe
But at a young age, were parents okay with that? You switching to seventh day, going to.
you know, that one the parents will not know because we were in the boarding.
Hey,
Yeah, it's in
okay.
the boarding. And
Okay.
it was compulsory, by the way. The school made it compulsory that every student who's registered under the school has to be going to chapel on Saturday. You get? So it was equally me who came up with the idea saying that every person in the school should be given freedom for their faith. You get? So after some time, by doing that, I became a hero in the school.
Were you having any position in school like a
No,
prefect?
I was just a popular guy. I'm always like.
So that means you've been disagreeing always.
Yeah. No, I also post what is not right.
You're one of the people who stand on your grounds.
Yes,
Once you
yes,
say this,
yes.
it's big.
I just told them the truth. You know, people be given freedom of faith. You know, we don't have to all the time be in the 7 days because we you know, maybe I have another faith. I'm from a different faith, right? Yeah. So that doesn't work like that. You see. So at least after some time, the policies of the school started changing. You know, giving the freedom on Sundays. They let us who are for church service. They are taken out. Because on Friday, those who are to the mosque, they also given their chance. You get that? So that's how it started from that moment. And then also, in that hymn book, you sing all the songs from, you know, I mastered all the songs. And even I used to be on the podium, you know, all the time singing and all that. So it was like, it started from high school, from the young age, from the church, and then to my high school where now I got so close to worship music. You know, worship music, or the gospel music, the hymnals. They call them the hymnals. they make you feel like, you know, there is something inside you, and as an artist there is that inner spirit, you know, always in you.
Yeah.
And sometimes people say your voice is different, the one you sing with and the one you speak with, you get.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because sometimes there's that inner spirit in you that once you are able to reach into it, you'll be able to bring something special.
I think that's why, in most cases, the most song that I gave people, me personally, outside of the country, the mostly that was Soko. They're like, this sounds like a Nigerian artist.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah,
guy,
yeah.
this is our dude we have
Yeah,
from
I
South
actually did
Sudan.
that like that. That's what they will say I'm a Nigerian. I'm a South Sudanese.
So that is how you came to learn music.
Yeah, yeah. Like I started getting so close to music. I started every time I would be singing the hymnals, would be in the band and stuff like that. And then in 2015, this friend of mine comes with this song that I should listen to it. So when I listened to the song,
Which friend was that?
it's some friend of mine. I don't know where he is, but some friend of mine in Kampala.
Okay.
Yeah, he started music, and so he brought this song for me to listen. So I listened to the song, and then I already written many songs, but I had not yet recorded. So then I told him, man, you know what? I have a song. I want to go to the studio and record the song. Can you link me up with the producer? Because I had not known any producer by that moment. I was actually most focused on my creative work. Yeah. So he links me with the producer in the studio of Sweet Kid. There is this artist Sweet Kid in Machin. So then we hit the studio, and then I made the reggae song. It's called Someday. Yeah, some inspirational song.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the song here, by that time I was in Holy Land Music with Silva. I think, yeah, that was the year. After I made that song, Silva signed me into the Holy Land
Well
Music.
done, music.
And then, you know, the song was going, and then I started now from there. I picked up when I came to Juba.
Which year was that?
It was 215.
Okay.
215, towards the 215 going to 216. So from there we started. After that, after some day, I brought I Don't Care, the song called I Don't Care. Then I Don't Care now became like the cornerstone of my music. Like it's made me to get the first pay as an artist. You know, that's the biggest feeling.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
sometimes
How much was that?
I always tell. I can't remember, but
Was it in pounds or it was Ugandan shillings?
no, it was in pounds.
It was in
You know,
pounds.
I was actually not too greedy. You know, it was the first time they're asking me, Check me, how much should we pay you?
I think you didn't have even any idea of how much.
Yeah, then I just tell that, please, just give me whatever you're giving me. It's the first time you're approaching me, but also because you guys have been supporting me and promoting my music, just give me anything.
Oh, they were guys that they know you. Who knew you?
Yeah, Kinky Love.
Okay.
Yeah, she used to work with Radio 1. And
Oh, that was Radio 1.
Radio 1 used to have a mega fest, an MTN mega fest, where we perform, we go to Shirkat, we go to...
Shout out to our sister, Kinky Love.
Yeah, Kinky Love. She has really, she was very much part of the people that pushed us. And, you know, from there I started blessing after blessing. From I Don't Care, I brought Question Mark. And then, when I brought Question Mark, and then I Don't Care, then I think I made Dynamic, and then we remade the Yalde with the All Stars. And from there I joined I left Holy Land and joined Ruka Music.
That is another story also to talk about.
Yeah.
But now, the Soko you did when you have left, or you are still under Holy Land?
Soko I did when I left Holy Land, and I was under Ruka Music. You know, when you hear
Dynamic.
When you see in the flyer of Soko itself, Ruka Music, River Nile Entertainment presents. You know, yeah. At that moment, I'd already left Holy Land Music. I was already with Dynamic when I brought Soko.
Now, how would you come to meet Silvers?
Well, okay. Me and Silva, we come from same village, and there is a paternal relations between us. Like his father is a relative to my grandmother and stuff like that. So we are like there is we had a family kind of stuff. And even before music, we used to
Some bloodline.
Before music, yeah, we used to be staying together. You know, sometimes at home, all that. So that's how it is. It's like a family to me. You know, we come from the same community and all that.
But now some people wonder what really happened. The reason why I'm asking you what really happened is that people wonder all these years, why are you still guys having these fights? You're still pulling ropes. What really happened? Huh? Check B. I want you today to tell us what really happened. That even these years have passed by, but you guys still have failed to come in good terms. I don't know of recent, maybe you guys made up your case, which I don't know, you'll confirm to us. But what will happen?
Well, music is sometimes I'm not saying it's bad, but it's demonic, sometimes. So when the time comes, you'll start seeing the real demons of a person. But of course, like, we say we're brothers, we live together, we ride together, we roll together, and I have his back, I see that he's a brother and all that things. So the whole idea is, when I came to the crew, I had come with a different mindset, and I was not that kind of artist who's just going to be sitting in the crew, waiting for him to do everything. I was a hustler, find ways to make my own recording, do my own things, you get? Yeah, but what happened is, you see, there was a time we were attacked in the Musk, the former space launch. It's almost 80 youth, gangs and stuff like that. So in that moment, I managed to save Silver, because he was very, very stubborn.
What was it? It was like a fight in the
Yeah,
club?
yeah, it was like a planned attack.
On the whole team, or particularly
Actually, it
him?
was a target.
On particularly Silver X,
Yes.
not on the Holy Land team.
Yeah, it was a target.
Okay.
Because I think maybe these groups and all that, they have leaders and all that. So all of a sudden, I started seeing numbers of the people increasing in the tables. That time we were with those of promoter Sam, and it was when Silver was still working with Rockstar, with those of Tutu Baby.
That is Rockstar.
Yeah, yeah. So these guys the numbers start increasing and the tables are not yet made. So, and I become cautious, and I was like, why is the number of the people increasing around the parking yard? So then one lady that's moving with us can listen to the language, the Dinka language. And then, says, you guys, I think there is something bad that's going to happen here. And so it's an alarm, like an alarm. Then I go to this guy, tell him, bro, you get to the car. No matter what, just lock yourself in and get to the car. So we hesitated, and then I took him. I put him in the car, and then he locked the car. So as soon as the guy locks the car, I was with Navi Boy that time. So these people come and start punch Navi Boy, and then Navi Boy tried also. There were many. The attack was Silver, because Silver was already in the car. There is nothing they can do to him now. Yeah, so it is now us who are outside, So some of them were divided, we don't have anything to do with these people, and we are the target is this guy. So the whole thing is, by the time, what happened to us in that night, because it was a serious thing actually. It was not for the guard there, things would have been gone ugly, But we managed to save him, find a rescue and everything. But the worst thing, like what made me feel bad is that we need to be the gratification is very important. Gratitude, when your brother has done something, for example, because that's like laying your life on the line.
Yeah.
80 people, gang groups, it's not easy. And definitely the target was to break him, cripple him, and he said he was going to go to Egypt for a concert that time. Yeah. There was a little bit of beef in the industry that time within the regions, and after some of the tragedies that happened, some artists, we lost some artists and stuff. So there was that beef and tension going around, and the rumor that they need one artist has to be also eliminated.
So particularly these were not artist to artist thing.
I don't think it is artist to artist thing. I don't know, because you cannot even know who sent these boys. You get? Yeah, but definitely it could be artist to artist, because if, for example, you're having a show tomorrow, you're traveling to Cairo tomorrow, and then people plan to gang up on you. That is definitely related to music, isn't it?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and definitely, when you have many enemies, sometimes that is what you get. So what the whole idea is, if your brother puts his life on the line, you understand, and then you don't show that you understand and value that, you understand, because sometimes we all have different things. For example, I'm human, isn't it? Even if I'm in the crew, I deserve some some respect as well. And so when I became the deputy, the whole thing started when I made the song I Don't Care. I don't care. That song, because I did not put the Holy Land mark in it. And then all of a sudden the guy started telling me why did I not put the Holy Land stuff. Then I tell him, how much money did you give me to record this song? Because it was my money that I used to record the song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, before this happened, there was some misunderstanding between you two already.
Yeah, definitely. Because okay. The thing is, he used to accuse me that I'm competing with him. I want to,
Take over
take
Holy Land.
over. I'm too ambitious. I don't know, check big, get. And also that time I used to move sometimes with WJ, and maybe there was a bit of beef, between the two. But I am not a sheep, like I'm a man. Your enemies cannot be my enemies. That is one rule with me. So and we had some small misunderstandings. So then I left the crew. I left the Holy Land almost 3 times, and because I know who I am, you understand, and I know how much talent I have, how much IQ I have. So I was an asset actually to this guy, giving him ideas and strategies. By the way, I don't take pride in all these things, but I don't speak about them as well, because we as brothers we stand there for each other, you understand. So to the extent now you are not happy. The whole thing is after I left the crew. Before even I left the crew, I was signed to Really Entertainment. Sorry to forget.
Oh.
Yeah. So we were having a concert with one guy from Uganda, from Madi. I think it's called King Nobs or something like that. So I told him, bro, we were in the same crew that time before I'd left the Holy Land. And I told him, bro, why don't you come and support me, support us in the concert? Even if you're not going to perform, just come through. And the guy doesn't show up. So if you don't show up in a concert of one of your artists, who has struggled to make a way, and now I'm climbing, that shows to me that you are an enemy of progress. You don't feel good inside that I'm progressing. You get that? So that's from that moment. That's when I realized, okay, maybe it's the best time for me to part ways with this guy, because I was already having enemy ambition, and I was already becoming like my music was already everywhere now. So I was becoming like an established artist. So I decided now after that I just decided. I told him, you know what? And peacefully, Dynamic came to me and approached me and told me, I want to work with you. So I told him, okay, it's fine. So I told Silva, bro, I even sent a message. I tell him, thank you for everything.
Anyway, let's go back to the story.
Yeah.
You said you fought on his behalf. You try to support a brother.
Yeah, because
But now I'm looking at the element. I want us to look at the element of what really happened. I want us to look on what really happened. That is what I want us to know mostly. What really happened. After all that, you supported him, you went through that, but now what after?
But that's what I told you. After I had that concert, the guy didn't show up for the concert.
Okay.
Now when we are going to do
That is after you saving him.
Yes. That was after I saved him. And then the concert comes, it turns out he doesn't want to come to the concert. We did a song, I did a project for the crew. He was supposed to put his voice, he didn't put the voice. And then when I left Capoeira, and when I came back, I went and he has put his backups in the song. So I got annoyed and said, why did you put your backups in the song? Because it's my composition, it's my song. You get? So I started, I'm a very straightforward person. I don't fear anybody. I just tell you frankly. And that's the thing that this guy could not handle. Because I'm a frank guy and I'm always straightforward. So I tell the guy, you know what, I tell Linus, remove this guy's backups. Yeah, seriously. Well, I don't joke with music, bro.
Okay.
Yeah. So I tell Linus to remove the vocals.
His vocals.
Yeah, because it was he had undermined the project, you understand? And then all of a sudden when he came and had the sound is nice, now he wants and put his backs up. So from that moment, I realized I was leading the team, you know what I'm saying? You're not here, I'm the vice president of the crew, and I'm leading the team, you know what I'm saying? But now there is no support that I see. So I confront the guy and tell him, you know what? You don't deserve to have a crew because you focus on yourself. Yeah. If you are serious about growing your team or people that are around you, you could do better, you get. So from that moment, we started having issues, you know what I'm saying? Because I was also now booked all the time. I don't, and then also Dynamic came and I accepted the offer, you know what I'm saying? I joined Truka Music and I told him frankly, bro, because I can't stay with you for 6 years. And then, or 5 years, isn't it? Let's say 5 years, yeah.
Now, how was your terms of agreement when you joined HLME?
No, there is no term of agreement.
It was just a friendly kind of...
with you, HLME is okay. The name it sounds, but on the frameworks of a label, they are not there. You get? Yeah, to be frank with you.
Like the workflow.
Yes, the framework of the label, like for example, the contracts, you know, there is no contract. You can join today and jump out tomorrow. So There was nothing that tied me and all that. So
That's why it was easy for you to jump out.
very easy, because it was easy for me to jump out, and there's anything, there is nothing.
Because not any written document.
Yes, and you never funded anything. By the way, to be frank, when I'm in the HLME, it's me funding my own projects. You understand? But still in the name of HLME. So equally, I was now making this guy making for him so much. You know.
So all after all these years, don't you think you guys, it is now the high time to come together?
Well, you know, last time when the issue is, let me tell you one thing.
Have you ever met him and maybe talk about these issues, bring it on table and see how you can work out?
You see, like when I went to Kampala after I left the crew, and I was now dynamic, I still went to the house to greet this guy. I tell him, bro, Kev, tamam. You know, me, I told him, let the music thing don't come between us. We're still family, no matter what. So I go to the house, greet and all that. Then the guy, you know, decides, you know, like showing me that I've regretted leaving the crew. He's planning this. I tell him, bro, keep the plans to yourself. These plans, I've been with you for 5 years. So what are the plans all waiting for? You get. So one scenario, I was recording in one of his studios. I think it was International Records. You know, Ron used to produce. So this guy just comes there and say, delete Check B song. Bro, that was a crazy thing, man. That's what I told you. Sometimes, you know, people don't know what happened, but, you know. So when he had the song was good, people were vibing to the song, then he said to the producer, just delete this song because Check B is his enemy. Then I
Check B, how did you get to know that? The producer told you?
No, right in front of me.
In front of you?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Then I also tell the producer, you delete. Because me, I'm a composer. I cannot, even if you delete, I will still do it. So from that moment, I just realized this guy had taken it too far. I don't know what happened. Whether me going to join Uruguay music is the issue, or it is just that he's scared of me because he's scared of my talent. I don't know exactly, you understand? So from there, I started realizing, okay, if that's how it is, then it's fine, isn't it? I stopped working there because I used to work with Kamba sometimes there. So we started making our work in Freedom City, and then I met Soko. You get? So when I met Soko, then, you know, like it's like a reptile, you know. A brotherhood behaves like a reptile. When you bring something nice, then he comes over, cool, you know. Then tomorrow he bite you on your tail. Kamba tried to, okay, you know, I told Kamba, I have no problem with this guy. To be frank with you, bro, and I might do mushkila as well, you know, because for me, like they say always, talent humbles you. You know, if you're really talented, you have to be humble.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And then, in spite of that, even when I'm leaving the team, I still appreciate you. You understand? That, bro, thank you. You understand? So the idea is, there's a section of time when he started releasing these songs, dissing me. You know, because I'm a very sharp person. I know exactly what he's trying to say. You understand? What he's trying to do. But okay, if you go to an extent of dissing me, you understand? Me who was under your level,
umbrella.
your umbrella. That means there is something, you know, there is something in there that is not sitting right with you.
So, is the first person who made the move of creating a serious beef between you two people?
Yeah, it's him, guy.
Even on an extent of going to the studio and
even four songs, all. I can mention those songs. He's from the East who are doing well. So now, like, how can I? Okay, let him. Maybe unless when he wants to work with me, because now he has turned to be a blogger.
He has turned to be a blogger.
Yes.
Why are you saying that?
Seriously, bro. Also, what happened on social media? That is now.
So what you're saying is doing much energy on social media than studio.
Yes.
But last year you released some songs.
You know, I don't know why. Like, you know, sometimes you know, Junubin, when they see a song is a hit, they will accept it, isn't it? Like the language and all that, you understand. But sometimes when you force things, you know, people may not receive it. You understand. So to be frank with you, when was the last time he released a hit? I don't know. Maybe some years ago.
Well, last year he did Make a Wish.
A hit?
You had the song.
The hit? There is no, you know what the hit is.
And Check B, some people they reflect it back to you, saying that maybe you're the person who's feeling a bit jealous of him, as him being out of South Sudan all the way to Australia, you being here in South Sudan. That somehow maybe it is another way of
okay.
You're not feeling that.
No, people. By the way, everyone has the freedom of expression, an opinion. People can make opinions. But for example, if someone that sings these songs for you, how can that be me being envy? I cannot envy. You get? There's nothing to envy. It's not about envy. By the way, like okay, going to Australia, we contributed to that in some aspect.
Yeah.
Yes.
Check B, what do we don't know here? you contributed?
Because, for example, I cannot, maybe that one is for his own things, but okay, like, with being part of the group, we made sure that he had to succeed you know, in this relationship with this lady. You get? So, somehow we played roles as well. You get? To ensure that the relationship doesn't fall. And even we kept secrets, tight lips. You see. I ensure that
So what you're saying, you have some bigger secrets that can cause problems in the relationship, but you decided to keep quiet.
Definitely. For example, if I was someone with a crazy mind, I would do something like anything. But
Spit out the secrets.
something like that. But of course, like when you're dealing with a woman that is coming from the white man's land, it's quite different. You understand? From our ladies in South Sudan, for example. You get? So sometimes they can dig deep into finding details. Yeah, so we have to sure that we bury there.
So you contributed.
I can say it that way.
Wow.
So why would I envy now when we wanted you to go there?
So which means him going there, it was like a target. Maybe you people had some bigger dreams of you even also gaining into his going there.
No, we did. For me personally, to be frank, we did not have anything. It was him who was the target. You understand? So his target was he wants to go out and then re-strategize and build the brand and the label and all that. You understand? And you wanted me to be the one to front everything, but it happens that you're not giving me. I cannot be using my mind. Like I realized sometimes the knowledge is not for free, or the skills and all that sometimes are not free. When you're my brother, you get. Yeah. If I can support you, but you don't support me, then why would I continue doing things for you when you cannot do the same for me? So scratch my back, I scratch your back.
So don't you think sometimes you can act more mature? Let's say you say, maybe you give a post. I've forgiven. Whatever happened, or maybe get a phone call. I'm sure you have his number. Phone call him and be like, let's end this.
Well, like for me, I have no problem. I say it. I mean, for me, because I think like that. That was the problem, not me. Because for me, I always tell him. Like for example, recently when I made the song, and then he appreciated the song, and all that. And then after some few days, then he hashtags Kush Beats. Yeah, and then now for me, if you're playing my song and then you're hashtagging Kush Beats, that means you're trying to claim that those beats are Kush Beats. You understand? And he claims to be the person who is the founder or the inventor of Kush Beats. You get? So that point, I did not feel good about it. You understand? Because I'm also an intelligent person. And I know what you can try to mean. Someone can try to.
So what you're trying to say, even this new song, the beef did not stop only in those years. Even this current year we are in, still the beef is still going.
The reptile, like okay, someone who beefs you, but in the public eye, in the public eye, there is nothing. It's okay with you, but
behind the curtain.
But behind the curtain, he just doesn't want you to progress. Yeah, because for example, these are my beats. I'm the one who make the beats. You understand? You cannot say Kush Beats, right? That means you want to claim my invention, that it is you who invented it. You understand? That's disrespect. You get? That shows that there is no respect. Yeah.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Yes, seriously.
I think I don't know how we can bring this one down, but me, I feel to be much of good if you guys can still come together and we settle this.
Yeah, for me, I have no problem, bro.
And we settle this.
The thing is, the truth is, I win. We all want to win. All of us have to win. You know yeah. No matter what, all of us have to win. And sometimes I don't take grudges. Like I don't take things deep, in my heart. No. I just want what is the best for a brother. You understand? Sometimes, and maybe, of course, there is always that fans that will start saying Check B is better than Silver X. Silver, yes, he was old. Those things. Sometimes Check B has a better voice. You know those things. Sometimes those things used to be constant coming out, and that sometimes can make someone feel a little bit.
When was the
uncomfortable.
last time you communicated with him?
I don't know. I don't know.
Is it 2 years, 3 years, or even
I
yesterday?
think it's 5 years or something. Because the last time we met was in
Do you have even his number?
I don't have his number. Because he has the Australian number. I have the Cuban
Because check me, why I'm asking you so, besides you being an artist, you told us that you have some relationship
yeah.
in the family life.
Yeah.
Don't you do family gatherings, maybe in the family, maybe bring out these issues and
No, our issue doesn't.
or maybe talk with him as a family member, not artist.
But you see now, I don't have his number for Australia. I have the ones for Juba.
Why you don't have his number as a family member to you?
Because we did not have any line of communication. I don't know what happened, but we are not following each other on Facebook. We blocked each other and all things. The thing the beef, well, like the tension went far. But
Okay. Besides now, you two. How about the other? Maybe your wife, the kids, his wife, the kids. Do they communicate somehow?
right now, because they are far, they cannot communicate. You understand? But of course, we are family. Like for example, we still.
Or you stop them?
No, come on, man. I cannot do that. I can't do that. No, the beef is not to the extent that we cannot greet. No, we meet, we greet.
Okay.
It's okay. That's how life is. It's just that we are not close like before. You know.
Because I saw a hashtag somewhere. The reason why I'm saying this, I saw a certain hashtag somewhere that is coming back home. I don't know when is that soon, but I saw that hashtag. And now I would feel better if maybe he comes, assuming this year, he finds peace grounds.
No, if he comes,
Peaceful
if he
grounds.
comes, I'm sure he will text me or call me. Tell me like, oh, I'm back. Come.
That's the time you'll call the Juba number.
No, he has to call me because he's the one who's coming back. He has to call me and tell me, bro, I'm back.
But for you, on your side, you're okay with him?
Very okay, bro. Very okay. I actually want him to do more music than talk too much on social media. That is we regard him. He's a very smart guy.
But don't you think
he has also contributed?
But check B, he's being on active on social media. I don't think is another way of a strategy is trying to be relevant in the public.
Yeah.
Sometimes don't you think you have to play with the keyboard?
Well, you can, but sometimes don't misuse the keyboard and start writing senseless things.
Senseless things.
Yeah, because we all know what happened, and some screenshots and all that. Like it was like something was happening. It's like someone is there talking or posting.
Anyway, check me. Tell us of this new song, by the way. Before we wind down.
Yeah.
Tell us about the new song.
Well, the new song is called Iyaha.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a love song.
I was not there on the video shoot time, but one of my friends, like a brother, that is Sam Eddy.
Yeah.
Sam Eddy. He told me that there was a lot of confusion on the set.
Yeah.
People were many.
Yeah.
You ended up saying that you will reshoot, you will do the video again.
Yeah, we shot again. We did not finish all in Gumbo. Even those shots are nice shots, the ones we did there.
But they said that it was crowded.
Yeah, of course, crowded. The people, the love of the song is too much. These people, the song is really loud, and everybody wants to be in the video. You get. So we had to do what we do, and of course, not all the footage will be used. You get. So we shot some others also from different locations. The video is coming out this coming month, March. I will premiere it during my concert on 20th March at Bros.
20th.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to have the Yara video premiere and concert on the 20th.
Yara, what does it mean?
Yara is a sweet word to describe a girl or a lady. In our language.
Word.
Yeah, it's like
soka
in
ya
Arabic,
heliwa.
yeah, tajib kid, and calling highness in a nice way, in a sweet way, romantic way. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but of course, the story is about a lady that leaves a man, forsakes a man and then goes with elopes with another man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the whole song is into that storyline.
Yes.
But now
Heartbreak.
in the video, I saw some kind of behind the scenes. I'm seeing King queen
Yeah.
kind of setup.
Yeah, marriage. Yeah,
marriage.
Yeah, because it's part of the story.
I think it will be a good script.
Yeah, definitely.
Because the way I saw the background, it is the background of the way I saw the whatever the behind the scene. It brings real content of this is African content.
Yes, exactly. That's why we did that, and also we did it in the second location.
And I think it was a bit costly.
Yeah, definitely, bro.
Because of the costume I saw.
Yeah, it's costly. Cost even the design, the setups, and all that. The venue itself, that place. We brought a big generator. We made it like a picnic or something like that. We enjoyed it. We had fun. But that's how it is. That's what music is. You have to spend.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm grateful for the people who are supporting me and sponsoring me. I really give them a huge big up.
Since you said it is not falling under Kush beats, which particular genius should we call this?
These beats?
This year.
These are Afro Lotuko beats.
Beats.
Afro Lotuko.
Okay. Afro Lotuko.
Yeah.
Huh. Is it the same way with the Otuho? Is it the same kind of?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The same the Afro.
Who was behind the production of audio?
For this one, it's a boy in Torit called Zani.
Oh, you did it back in Torit?
Yeah, I did a song in Torit.
Okay.
I recorded it in Torit.
Who was the producer?
It's called Zani.
Zani.
Spring. It's called Spring the Beats. But is that the name they know him as Zani. Very talented boy.
How old so far? The song has been on market.
What?
How old so far you have done it? The audio?
The audio?
Was it last year?
I released it last year.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's now moving, it's still moving.
But now the video I'm seeing, people are going, before we get the video, challenges have become too much on TikTok.
I'm telling you.
Do you think the time, because I'm seeing the video is delayed.
Yeah. No, we did it like that technically.
Okay.
Yeah, because
I see the song may start fading up.
No, I don't think it will.
Before getting, no, I'm saying we may get used with these TikTok, the reels. Before getting the real video that we should expect.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying is that's why I told you we're going to unleash it during the premiere and the concert on that show in Gross, so that people can.
But March is too far.
It's not too far. Trust me, bro. It will run. Yeah, and even the song now has got into clubs. Now every time, every club they play the song, so it's not gonna die anymore anytime soon.
So the video will be premiered on the same
day on the 20th. Yeah, on the 20th.
Okay. All right. That is Check B for you. It has been a pleasure.
I know, bro. Thank you, man.
Anyway, you can subscribe, of course, leave your comment, and as well follow. That is the 211 Media. Exam. Check B the magic. Iyaha is the sound. You can also still go on and do your challenge as well. Yes. Don't worry, it will not confuse the main video.
Yeah.
The main video still. In fact, this will be like it is like a reminder.
Yes.
That this song is on the way.
Actually, the trailer will come out maybe next week.
Next week.
The trailer.
Wow. All right. Thank you so much. This is the 211 Media.